but it's still light outside. Anyway, I'm your host, David J. Riley. Rebecca and Cameron are off. We're going to be back with a regular episode for you tomorrow, a special New Year's Eve episode. It'll be very good. So please tune in for that. That'll be at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific. I'm sorry, man. I am so sick. I shouldn't even be doing an episode right now, but my wife is out of the house. She took the kids. And so I figured that this would be basically the only opportunity that I get to do a final episode, solo episode or whatever. Excuse me for 1 second. A solo episode before the new year, before 2026. So I figured I'd try to get it in. But before we begin, before we get into the topics that I have for you tonight, you need to make sure that you are following The Backlash on X. You can visit our website, thebacklash.net. You can also help us out by becoming a patron on either Subscribestar or Patreon. No super chats tonight. I mean, I guess if you want to send some Rumble rants or power-ups or whatever the hell they're called on YouTube and Rumble, you can do that too. It's always appreciated. We do need the help. But make sure that you are subscribed to all of our platforms at Real Backlash on YouTube and Rumble. And please make sure you give the video a thumbs up. You like the video. Make sure you're subscribed. You hit the notification bell. All right. We're all done now. We've done all of the self-promotion. So no, I mean, I just wanted to chat real quick because we're getting into, the new year and where things are going to go. Everybody's making predictions. I haven't really mapped out any predictions for this episode. Maybe we'll get into that tomorrow. But there are a few things that I'm seeing on Twitter, on X, whatever, and I'm just like blown away by it. And one of the things is this Somalian daycare thing that's going on in Minnesota. I don't have any of the tweets pulled up. You've seen it. You've all seen the tweets. It's been an ongoing story day after day. More and more is getting pulled up about how these phony daycares in Minnesota are taking taxpayer funds and plugging it into these like fake businesses, these fake daycare centers that are exclusively for Somalians. And there has been one report after another of like, oh, the FBI already raided them in 2011 and 2014. The money was being used to fund Al-Shabaab. That the money it was being siphoned from the taxpayers, given to these daycares, and then brought over in suitcases to like Africa and the Middle East. It's crazy. And it's going wild here even in Idaho. There's a couple of people, I will pull these guys up. They're doing some fantastic work. Brandy, her name is Liberty Bell 208 on X. Hold on, I gotta scroll to the top. She's been doing some fantastic digging. Please follow her, Liberty Bell 208. And she's been finding a lot of this type of fraud and abuse going on right here in Idaho, where Idaho daycares that have taken hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxpayer funds from the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare, they're not even registered as businesses in the state of Idaho. They're not even registered businesses. They haven't filed any paperwork. There's no beneficial ownership forms. They just spin up a business, write a paper asking for a handout, bring it to the city of Boise, and then the Boise city administrator is rubber stamping and distributing funds to these people. It's unbelievable. And so it's not just happening in Minnesota. It's happening everywhere. It's happening in Pennsylvania, New York, Idaho, California, Texas. Pick a state. This type of fraud is all over the place. Hold on. I wasn't kidding, man, when I said I was sick. I'm like coughing. I'm sneezing. I have like a handy roll of toilet paper right here just in case. not feeling very cozy. Not very cozy. And so Liberty Bell 208, follow her. And also, how am I supposed to put this on the internet? This is awful. Liberty Bell 208 and Roglu 18. Lauren's one of these types. I sent her this meme the other day. It was really funny. It's the global war on terror thing. Let me see if I can pull it up. It is funny. And there's a lot of you out there, I think, that will get it when you see the meme. Here it is. Average global war on terror veteran progression, 2008. They just want democracy, 2014. They don't give a shit about democracy, 2022. I don't give a shit about democracy. It's like, yes, that is the progression. That is the progression. That is what happened to a lot of these people that signed up to be in the armed services and fight for America, fight for freedom, and then, you get sent over to protect Israel. Your friends are dying. They're getting shot by towel heads. And does Israel give any military aid? Any medical aid? No, they don't give a shit. They fundamentally don't give a shit. And not to go off on a whole Israel tangent here, but we have given these people so much. Israel owes its entire existence to the United States of America. And they are the most ungrateful fucks about it. It's incredible. You start saying, hey, maybe we're not getting as much out of this relationship as we would like. That's anti-Semitism. Ban him. Get him off the internet. Kick him out of the Republican Party. We can't no, absolutely not. None of it. Okay. And it just leads to this spiral where what isn't anti-Semitism, right? Like criticizing a policy, like we're giving these people too much money and they don't really give a shit about us. They're not reciprocating. They're not going to help us if we're in need. They don't send their troops over to help when we're in trouble. You see where I'm going with this. And it just spirals out of control. And this is something we'll probably address in a future episode. But anyway, Roglu, she's not associated with anything. She's great. She's wonderful. She's doing her own thing. She's a watchdog. She's a sheepdog. She's been really putting the screws to legislators and following up on stuff. I've got the highest compliments from her. She'll probably have to disavow me after this. That's fine. I apologize. But anyway, they've been doing really great work on all of this fraud stuff. They've been pulling up example after example of all of these people in Boise who have been, and not just that, they've been doing the ICE stuff, pulling up stuff about illegal immigrants killing people in southern Idaho and all of this. So anyway, but they really did hit a gold mine with the fraud investigation stuff. Here's an example of some of these daycares: Angel Daycare, Angel Childcare, Angel's Nest Daycare, Annuncia's Daycare, Arbe's Daycare. I mean, I don't even know, but Star Wars people, right? Star Wars names. And these people don't have their businesses registered with the Secretary of State, and they're somehow getting tax dollars. So anyway, long story short, because I'm not going to go too long on this solo episode. I'm sick. But people out there are rightfully fed up. They've had it. We're not getting the mass deportations. Donald Trump just this week brought Bibi Netanyahu for his fifth visit. Bro, I can't even right now. I'm doing this because I love you people. Donald Trump brings Netanyahu in for his 5th visit. You know, he's closing out the year meeting with these Jewish warlords, Zelensky and Netanyahu, bringing them into Mar-a-Lago. And, Trump is committing to bomb more of these missile sites in Iran. And as all of this is going on, the American people are looking at this blatant fraud. No one's going to jail, by the way. No one's getting arrested, by the way. No one's getting deported, by the way. No one's getting denaturalized. No one's getting locked in a crystal. It's not happening, and it's not going to happen. Matter of fact, I think Donald Trump just pardoned somebody, a Jewish guy, who was running a fraudulent healthcare system, healthcare scam. That might come up on tomorrow's show. I don't know. It's out there. Go Google it. But anyway, the point is, here it is. It's the end of the year. Trump is closing out, and they don't fucking care about us. And people are just now in the year of our Lord, 2025, waking up to the fact that our government is robbing us. They're stealing our money through taxes at gunpoint. 39% of our income, 109 days of the year that we work, we give that money to the federal government. And they're giving that money to foreigners who hate this country, who hate white people, who are ethnically nepotistic. They are keeping their money in their tribe. They're not injecting this money into local economies. It's not helping anyone, and they don't care. And so there's this sentiment building on Twitter. I've got a tweet here. This is from Owen Schroyer. God bless him. He's been doing some good stuff. And there's a lot of talk about a tax strike in 2026. A lot of people out there saying, you know what? That's it. I've had enough. I've had enough. I'm not paying my taxes anymore. I'm just going to write exempt on my W-2, and that's it. You know? And on the one hand, I'm sitting here thinking like, okay, this is nice to see. It's good. It's good that people don't want to pay their taxes. If you don't notice, I have a sticker here on my laptop that I've had for the entirety of this show that says, taxation is theft. So I'm not here as someone that, like, I don't want you to pay your taxes. Like, fuck taxes. Taxation is theft. Fuck it. It's not good. Pardon my French. Right? But we gotta be real here. I've got to keep it real with you. And a part of keeping it real and not getting into all of this rage baiting that's happening on X, where people are sharing the fraud, they're sharing these screenshots, and you're getting more and more worked up and upset about the fact that you're helpless and you can't do anything and nobody's making any arrests and the FBI doesn't care and Trump doesn't care and nobody's coming to save you, right? And you're getting enraged, and then people start posting, that's it, I'm not paying my taxes anymore. And it's like, really? Really? There's another tweet here from the General MC News. It says, breaking, thousands of Americans say they will refuse to pay their taxes this year following revelations of large-scale scams in Minnesota. Okay. Well, here's what I said. Breaking. Thousands of Americans talk a big game, but ain't gonna do jack shit. You people can't even show up to vote for mayor. And we're all supposed to think that you're willing to go head to head with the IRS and the FBI over a couple $1,000s in taxes. Give me a break. You're not going to do shit. And I attach to this, if you see right here. Look at this, I can point. If you see right here, this is the election that just occurred here in Kootenai County in North Idaho for mayor, city council, water and soil district, highway district. I really am sick. 28% of people showed up to vote. If 28% of people, well, let's do it the other way around, right? If 72% of people cannot be bothered to show up to vote in a local election for mayor, what do you think the percentage of people that say they're going to tax protest that actually do it is? 1%? Maybe, if you're lucky. And it's just amazing because there's more and more of this going on as we unfold through this great awakening. People waking up to the United States relationship with Israel. People waking up to the fact that the federal government fucking hates us. Where's the beep button? People waking up to the fact that the American government fucking hates us. Is that better? Did I piss less people off by doing that? I'm probably going to use that more. You're just waking up to this in 2025? 5 years after COVID? 8 years after Charlottesville? What, 50 years since we went off the gold standard? Over 100 years since the institution of the Federal Reserve? And you're just waking up in 2025, and all of a sudden you get this bright idea like, I'm going to stop paying my taxes. Really? Let me know how that goes for you. You know, while we're talking about this whole making some predictions here, I put this tweet up. It's got people all over the place. You aren't going to tax protest. You aren't going to organize a revolution. You aren't going to deport the illegals. Nobody's going to jail that should. You're going to vote Republican in 2026. Fuck you. This country is cooked. And of course, you know, the comments, they go back and forth. What's this one? This is funny. Yeah, true. Nobody will go to jail for the Epstein stuff. Nobody will go to jail for the Somalian daycares. But if you're a middle-class family who parks on a double yellow or pays a tax bill 0.1 days late, the entire legal system will activate to crush you. Correct. That is exactly what's going to happen. I was looking at some statistics earlier. Let me see if I can pull it up. What percentage of white Americans pay taxes? Because if you look, let's see if Grok is smart enough to figure this out. Here it is. Oh, good job, Grok. This is from C3PO, I don't know. As we discover Somalians ripping us off for billions of dollars, what percentage of the population pays federal income taxes? Well, as it turns out, it's about 59% of the population pays 70 to 75% of federal taxes. White people. White people pay taxes, and non-white people take handouts. Do I need to say that again? White people pay taxes that hold the system up, allegedly. I mean, that's not even really true. And non-white people take handouts. Somalians take handouts. Latinos take handouts. Black people take handouts. Immigrants take handouts. Refugees take handouts. These people are not paying into the system. And furthermore, let's see if I can get this up. Yeah, here it is. Furthermore, we don't even need taxes. You don't need to pay taxes. The federal government does not need you to pay taxes, okay? It is a submission ritual, like going through TSA at the airport when they fucking pat you down and they grab your balls and they ask you to strip and they swab your hands. It's not because you're a terrorist. It's not because they're stopping terrorism. It's because they're putting you in their place, in your place. It's because you're goyim, you're cattle being herded through these metal detectors, treated like a non-human, okay? That's what's going on. Paying your taxes has nothing to do with the federal budget. And you don't have to take my word for this. Let's go watch some radical extremist propaganda from CPAC 2024. Let's take a listen to El Dictatore Nayib Bukele.
Someone could ask, well, so if the government can print unlimited amounts of money out of thin air, why did they collect taxes? I mean, in theory, it would make sense, right? If they can print unlimited amounts of money, why would they need taxes for? The answer is simple, but it's very shocking. The real problem is that you pay high taxes only to uphold the illusion that you are funding the government, which you are not. It's shocking, but it's true.
True.
The government is funded by money printing. Paper backed with paper. A bubble that will inevitably burst. The situation is even worse than it seems, because if most Americans and the rest of the world were to become aware of this farce, confidence in your currency would be lost, the dollar would fall, and the Western civilization with it.
It's a humiliation ritual. They don't need your taxes. They don't need you to work 109 days like a serf in a medieval fiefdom to pay for Somalian daycares. They can literally just print the money out of nothing. Hello? So, even if, let's say, 100 million Americans stopped paying their taxes, you know what that would change? Nothing. It would change nothing. The Somalians would still be getting the money for the daycares. The refugees would still be getting Section 8 housing. The migrants from the southern border would still be getting Medicare, Medicaid, whatever it is, food stamps, EBT. Shaquanda would be going to the store in her shower cap to pick up some, like, Fruit Loops and Snickers bars. That would all still happen. Nothing would change. And, you know, this idea that, oh, well, the world would be, the confidence in the dollar would collapse. It would just go to zero. We would have a collapse. Well, have you been paying attention to what's going on in the metal markets? I have. If you watch this show, then you have too. Look at this. Hockey stick moment. Boom. Silver, it's at $75 an ounce right now. Gold, $4,350 an ounce. I mean, Bitcoin, it's still up 20,000% over the last 10 years because the dollar is crashing. We just can't see it because we live within a dollar system where everything is denominated in dollars. So we can't see the currency collapsing in real time, which it is. If you valued everything in gold, you would see prices going down. If you valued everything, well, you'd see prices staying the same. If you valued everything in gold, you'd see prices staying the same, right? Like if you bought a custom tailored suit in 1900, it'd cost you a couple of gold coins. If you go to buy a custom tailored suit today, a very nice, expensive one from a company wherever, it would cost you the same couple of gold coins. So, as a matter of fact, I'll show you a chart. I'll show you a chart that explains this. So here we've got a website called pricedinbitcoin21.org. And listen, I know that you're gonna, he's talking about Bitcoin again. I get it. Listen, fine, whatever. If there was a website, maybe there is one. Is there one? Pricedingold.com? It's just the first one that I pricedingold. Let's just see. Pricedingold. Okay, there is. Okay, I take it back. We'll look at both. Okay. So the website here, pricedingold.com. Don't you love the internet? Everything you want is there. So let's take a look at crude oil priced in gold. It's down 4.3% from a week ago. It's down 7.9% from a month ago. It's down 42% from a year ago and 58% from 5 years ago. Are y'all seeing this? This is priced in gold. Okay? Let's take another look. Copper, priced in gold. Down 4.3%, 7.9%, 42% from a year ago, 5 years ago, 58%. Take it back. Okay. Pricedingold.com, right? And so here they've got this newsletter where they show these different commodities priced in gold. Okay? The dollar is down 4.3% from a week ago, 7.9% from a month ago, 42% from a year ago, and 58% from 5 years ago. So that means priced in gold, the US dollar is worth half of what it was worth 5 years ago. If you bought gold 5 years ago, obviously you look at the chart, you can see the chart goes up. But you see the issue that we're dealing with here. When you're denominating everything in dollars, it's hard to get perspective. We'll go back and take another look at some of these other things, right? Crude oil is down 3% from a week ago, 10% from a month ago, 52% from a year ago, and 50% from 5 years ago. Coffee is the only thing that's really up. Look at this. Coffee is up 15% priced in gold from 5 years ago. Cotton, down 64%. So you can see that the cost of things, when compared to gold, getting cheaper because they're valued in dollars, and dollars are worth less. Let's go to this priced in Bitcoin. Maybe priced in Bitcoin might be a little bit better. So here is gold priced in Bitcoin. It's down. Right? It's down. Let's go to a Big Mac. Let's see how much a Big Mac costs in Bitcoin. All time. Down. Way down. Let's look at natural gas priced in Bitcoin. It's down. Oh, and I'm not even showing it on the screen. Son of a bitch. Anyway. Maybe I'll cut that segment. Doesn't matter. So anyway, check out these websites for yourself. Pricedinbitcoin21.com and pricedingold.com. You'll see that the currency is collapsing. The dollar is collapsing. And so you're just waking up to this now. It's just, nobody's going to do anything. Nobody's going to do anything. We are going to do nothing. Right? There's that meme that's going around, Donald Trump. We're going to do nothing. We are going to do nothing. See? I'm getting better for you. The old church ladies keep getting on my case. You swear too much. Sorry. I'm working on it, okay? I'm working on it. But, so one of the other things, there was this is what all started it too. I saw this tweet from Shibo, who's like, they're manipulating the price of silver. This is not normal price action. Someone will end up in jail for this. No one's going to end up in jail for this. No one's going to end up in jail for this. What are you talking about? Nobody's going to jail. Tim Walz is not going to jail. Anthony Fauci's not going to jail. Hillary Clinton's not going to jail. George Soros, not going to jail. Netanyahu is getting a pardon. Netanyahu's getting a pardon. War criminal. Bro. Who's fallen for this shit? It's really incredible. So anyway, everybody's waking up. Everybody's trying to figure out what they can do. It's unbelievable. And so I also tweeted about this. So we're just all going to stop paying our taxes now. Why don't we ask Gordon Call how that worked out? Here's a hint. They murdered his son and burned him alive. And so for those of you who are unaware, or maybe you've never heard of Gordon Call was a decorated hero. He fought in the Second World War. Where's a picture of him? Yeah, it's low resolution. He was a hero. He was an American patriot. He fought in the war. He came back home. He realized that something had gone terribly, terribly wrong. And in the 1970s, he was a key player in the tax protest movement, which is a thing, by the way. Again, for those of you who've just opened your sleepy eyes in 2025, the tax protest movement started, let's see, there's a whole Wikipedia page you can go familiarize yourself with. Obviously, it starts with the Americans throwing a bunch of tea into the Boston Harbor, okay? Our country was founded on tax protesting. But this stuff started to really tick up with the institution of the Federal Reserve in 1913. There's actually a clip that I've got here. I forget what year this came out, but this is William Randolph Hearst talking about tax problems.
My friend, this whole system of income taxation has degenerated into a racket in which the public tries to cheat the government and the government tries to rob the public.
Hello. Newsflash. Newsflash. The government's corrupt and they're stealing your money? Oh, wow. Who would have thunk? Who knew? And so, where do I even go from here? I mean, like, geez. Here's where I'm going to go from here, okay? The time to protest was before most of us were born. Maybe not most of us. I'm sure that some of you lived through this. Hi, Dad. I was talking with my dad the other day about this because he lived through the 1970s. And it's like, if only there were people back then that could see what was going to happen in the country with the immigration, with the Hart-Celler Act, with the tax problems. If only there was like a group of people that could have seen what was going to happen. What's that? Oh, wait. They did see? Oh, wow. And so this is the first time I think on the show that I'm showing you any of this stuff. Maybe if we can get some super chats, maybe you want to send some Cash App money to Real Dave Riley on Cash App or on my Twitter or something, give me some money to do this. There's a newspaper that was published here in Hayden, Idaho, back in the 1960s and the 70s called the National Chronicle. and it was published by a guy named Harold Hunt. Harold Hunt is a really interesting guy, and frankly, he deserves his own episode. He was like involved in the investigation for the assassination of John F. Kennedy. He started his newspaper in a place called Bernie, California, and he was a staunch anti-communist. And it seems like he had a lot of ties with the CIA, actually. I don't have the excerpts pulled up here. But Harold Hunt was one of the creators of what we now know today as the white nationalist movement. He was one of the progenitors of it. He ran this newspaper called the National Chronicle, and it was like the first of its kind. The only place that I'm aware of, funnily enough, that has copies of this newspaper is in Minnesota, I think at the University of Wisconsin. That's where I got these from. I literally requested the microfilm, went to the library, and started scanning this thing in because it's like I'm reading the newspaper, and it's like it could have been written yesterday. So let's take a quick look at some of this. This is the National Chronicle from September 23rd, 1971. In real time, as Nixon was going off of the gold standard, as we were seeing what was happening with the changes in the Hart-Celler Act and the immigration into this country, this guy was writing about it in real time. And so other people that read his newspaper, that were involved in some of the same social circles, they started a group called the Posse Comitatus. And this is the inaugural article. I don't know if I'll read any of this here, but it says, Posse Comitatus, by authority of the Constitution of the United States, in the formation of this constitutional republic, the country has always been and remains to this day the true seat of government for the citizens who are the inhabitants thereof. The county sheriff is the only legal enforcement officer of these United States. The sheriff can mobilize all men between the ages of 18 and 45 who are in good health and are not in the federal military service. Others can volunteer. This body of citizens is called the sheriff's posse, and all of them will serve when called by the sheriff. Blah, blah, blah. He has an oath of office to uphold. The Constitution is the supreme law of the land. He's quoting the Bible, right? And the reason for this, he goes, and I don't have it, but it's continued on page 3. Maybe I should try to pull up. Hold on, I'll go back. First of all, the education and the schools. The federal Congress has been legislating in the area of education and the schools, right? Now, hold on. Let me pull up. I think I can get page 2 or 3. Hold on. Well, I take it back. I can't find it. I take it back. All right, never mind. I take it back. I can't find it. But he goes on to list, and this is one of the things that I'd like to do, is I'd like to actually be able to go through and organize some of my notes here so I can find this stuff more easily for you. But he goes through and he talks about the violations of the Constitution of the United States. And obviously, the Constitution says that Congress has the right to coin and regulate the value of money with gold and silver. That's what it says. And so ever since the Federal Reserve was created in 1913, we've been in violation of the Constitution of the United States of America. So I'll do my best to get that up for you somewhere so you can take a look on your own. By the way, this is a picture of Harold Hunt that was taken from the front page of the Coeur d'Alene Press in 1974. Right? Conservative editor, impeachment, okay. He was a big anti-Nixon guy. He didn't like Nixon. But don't you love it? The Coeur d'Alene Press, by the way, was like super behind. They were like okay with Richard Butler and Harold Hunt back in the day. They agreed with them. They ran ads in the Coeur d'Alene Press for Richard Butler's church and the first meeting of the Posse Comitatus, by the way. Anyway, I've been digressing. It's a fascinating story, Harold Hunt. You know, and just as another example, again, for those of you that just woke up, here's another one of their front pages. President Kissinger controls the United States. United States is now a satellite of Zionist Jew Israel. All administration's positions of U.S. government usurped by German Jew. This was printed on June 5th, 1975. So, you know, congratulations for being awake and aware and participating in reality with the rest of us. But going on X.com and saying that you're not going to pay your taxes ain't going to change a damn thing. You're not going to do anything. You won't even show up to vote. And you're going to tax protest and like force the government to stop paying these Somalian daycares. I don't mean to blackpill too hard here, but I'm just trying to bring some perspective on this whole thing. And so there's a great documentary that you can watch. It's called Death and Taxes, the story of Gordon Call, which was released in 1993. It's on YouTube. You can watch it. It's like an old VCR, VHS tape. And it goes through the whole story of Gordon Call, the tax protest movement, how this all began in the Midwest.
This was
Listen to this.
inspired by the incident of Gordon Call and his problems with the government. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Federal fanatics are found in the U.S. Marshals. They're like a bloodthirsty tribe of cannibals. They break the law with impunity, then plead sovereign immunity. Federal fanatics are mad dog animals.
Based.
Authorities say the prime suspect is a radical survivalist, a fanatic, an ultra-right-wing tax rebel. Tonight they're also calling him a killer. Frank Courier has the story of a bizarre case of death and taxes.
He told me some stuff, you know.
So anyway, we're not gonna. It's a 2-hour-long documentary. Go watch it on your own time, but educate yourself. Figure out where we are. Find out what time it is. Right? It's 2025. These people were out here in 1971. They formed a group called the Posse Comitatus. There's a Wikipedia about this too, right? They were at odds with the Anti-Defamation League and the Southern Poverty Law Center for the same reasons as we all are today. And look what happened to them. They tracked Gordon Call down, and they shot and killed his son. And then they burned Gordon alive in his home, along with all of the evidence. Robert Matthews, there's another one. He was involved in the Posse Comitatus. He lived up in Medellin Falls, Washington, started some radical Mormon Deseret group called the Order, which was very deeply tied to to Operation Gladio, the CIA, a lot of spooks involved in that. Pretty weird. That also deserves a deep dive, frankly, maybe its own episode, probably a documentary, because I don't think anybody's really gotten it right. They just came out with a movie about it, and I don't think it was right. But anyway, what did they do to Bob Matthews? They burned him alive, too. And the reason that they were on his ass was because he was a tax protester. He was involved in the tax protest movement in Arizona with a group called the Sons of Liberty back in the early 1970s. Richard Butler, what happened to him? I mean, the list goes on and on. What about the Montana Freemen? You ever heard of them? There's a group of people up in Montana. They lived in the middle of nowhere, and the feds descended on them, just like they came to Ruby Ridge, just like they went to Waco and burned everyone alive. Are we picking up a pattern? We're picking up a little bit of a pattern here. So just some productive stuff. I'll stop my bitching, and I'll share some productive thoughts, okay? And this big shout out to the Winged Hussar. He's a fan of the show. He's been coming along to the meetups when we can. He very astutely said, migrants get off free. Whites go to prison. They would turn this tax protest thing into sending as many white people to prison as possible, especially the men. He's right, you know. If a bunch of people, like according to this Owen Schroyer post, you know, there's 9,500 votes on this poll right now. 75% say that they're going to engage in tax protesting. Most of these people are white guys. They got Palantir. Alex Karp is there. He knows what's up. They can figure this out pretty quick. They just digitized all of these antiquated systems, which, by the way, kind of work to our benefit. Making the federal government more efficient is not the W that you think it is. They're going to lock in on you like that, and they will nuke you from orbit. So, getting back to the productive thing to do here. The productive thing would be, instead of tax protesting, hire a good accountant. Hire a tax lawyer. Hire somebody that does this for a living and be maliciously compliant with the law, with your deductions, with your write-offs. So if you have a backyard garden, congratulations. Now you're a farmer. Start an LLC and write everything off. Got kids? Make a daycare. You homeschool? You know, take the child tax credits. Maximize the amount that you can write off, deduct, lose money, right? That's how these rich people do it. They operate under the same tax code we do. They just know all the loopholes. They start business after business after business, and they write everything off as a loss. And when you do that, all of a sudden, hey, you don't owe the government anything. And so a lot of this has to also do with the fact that, you know, if you're working a job for, let's say, FedEx or UPS, you're driving a truck or whatever, you've got a W-2 job, start thinking about ways to be an entrepreneur. Make your own business. Look at the market, look for a hole, and see if you can't plug the hole. See if you can't come up with a product or a good or a service that you can offer, as opposed to being beholden to the system, to the man, to some giant soulless corporation like Walmart that pays their people a pittance, and it forces them to go on welfare, to get Medicaid, Medicare, whatever. I keep getting the two of those confused. Food stamps. Yeah. Get rid of your pride. Get rid of the shame and all of that bullshit. Hit up a food bank. Get on SNAP. Get on food stamps. Take as much as you can from the collapsing system while you can. But going head to head and butting heads with the IRS, with the FBI, you're going to lose your home. Sorry, I heard someone knocking on the door. Come on. Anyway. So those are just a couple of things that I wanted to bitch about and share with you. Holy cow, I've been going for 55 minutes. I can't believe it. I'm going to have to get in and edit some stuff out. It might be a little incoherent. My apologies. I'm sick, okay? I just, sitting at home, laying on the couch, drinking some chicken noodle soup, trying to feel better. And I'm seeing these people that just woke up yesterday that are like, I've got a bright idea. I'm going to stop paying my taxes. And also just be careful with who you follow, please. There's been some stuff that's come out this week, some of these newer content creators that have popped out of absolutely nowhere. They weren't here during Charlottesville. They weren't here for the Groyper War 1 in 2019. They weren't here for COVID. They weren't here for George Floyd Summer of Love. And then all of a sudden in 2025, they pop up with a new Twitter account and fancy cameras and a following and a badge affiliated with some media group. And then, they're gay. They're like a tranny, internet princess. Who are these people? And why are you following them? We shouldn't give people like this the time of day, frankly, in my opinion. Or these people going around bitch slapping one another at America Fest. I don't know if we got into that as deeply as we said we would, but think about who you're following. Think about who these people are and think about what they're telling you to do. Remember the old adage, anybody telling you to commit a crime is a Fed. Think about that. I'm not saying that the people out there, and I got to give big respect, by the way, to Mark Fitzpatrick. Love him. I love the Old State Saloon down in Boise. Love them. Totally support them. He's one of these guys that's talking about, we gotta stop paying our taxes. God bless you. More power to you. I'm not going to tell my followers that. I'm not going to, and I don't mean to insinuate that he's a Fed. He's a wonderful guy. His establishment's fantastic. I'm just saying, think about what we're doing here. Think about what we're doing here. Do not commit crimes. Love your neighbor. Practice virtue. Don't go live streaming around Tennessee or wherever it is, going into convenience stores calling black people the N-word. Are we 3 years old? Are we serious right now? Anyway, it's incredible to me. These people, not Fitzpatrick, but other people, Vrillium, I'll say it, Vrillium, that come out of nowhere. And you're like, I'm going to follow them. Bruh, get with the program. This has been going on in this country for over 100 years. Some could argue that it's been going on since the founding of the country. Freemasonry and some of these secret societies that run shit behind the scenes. So figure it out, okay? The way forward is not in pitting yourself against a malicious federal government that wants you dead and replaced with a more compliant tax base. You see? Coming out and throwing yourself under the tank in Tiananmen Square is going to get you crushed. You're going to die. You're not saving the country. You're not changing anything. You're just making it infinitely harder for yourself and your family to procreate, to sustain, to transmit culture from generation to generation. That's the goal. That's what we've got to be doing. I mean, yes, we need to save the country. Yes, we need to put America first. But we can't do any of that if we're all poor or in jail, getting investigated for tax fraud. Be smart. Be smart. Come on. Anyway, those are the things that I wanted to share with you on this. Now it's Dave After Dark. Now it's Dave After Dark. It's dark outside. It's getting close to dinner time. But thank you for sitting with me through this cough and sneeze filled rant. I do appreciate it. We'll be back with you tomorrow evening. Cameron is finally going to be back. Somebody just super chatted me. That's crazy. Oh my God, it's because I'm live. Holy shit. It's because I'm live. Whoops. Well, I'm going to have to go delete some tweets, and I'm going to have to edit this down. I thought that I had a safety net here. I thought that I was recording a bit, and that I'd go through and edit it, make it look a little bit more polished. Oopsie daisy. Oh, I guess that's that. Hope you enjoyed the show. Jeez. We'll be back tomorrow night. What? I'm live. You're texting me. Oh, my wife is texting me now. Oh, she's watching. All my links suck. This is all sorts of wrong show titles. Oh, the neighbor's doing target practice. Oh, that's what those noises were. Okay. Well, fuck, now that I'm live, send me some super chats. Pay me. Pay me, people. What are you doing? My apologies. I'm going to have to apologize to Blonde. But hey, look, you got to see the real deal here. You got to see the real fucking deal here, right? When I say that I go and I click the button and I do my shit, I'm not using notes. This is off the top of my head. I'm not getting fed a script from Russia or Iran or something like that, you know? This is just me and you and my goofy thoughts. So my apologies. Wow. Anyway, join us tomorrow night. We'll be live at 6 p.m. Eastern. 6 p.m. Eastern. And then we've got some really, really big interviews lined up, okay? Coming up here, I was going to record this and edit it on after the fact. I am retarded. My wife just texted me, you're retarded. Okay. January 5th, we're going to be joined by Christian Secor, author of The American Regime. He was a January 6th protester. He's going to come and share his story with us. On January 7th, we are going to be joined by the one and only James Fishback. James Fishback, as you may know, he's running for governor in Florida. America first. He's saying all of the right things. And so it'll be good to chat with him, ask him some questions, and see what's really going on. So we're very excited to speak with James Fishback. Then, on January 12th, it is now confirmed, we've got Thomas Rousseau, the leader of Patriot Front, who will be joining us. And then as we go on through the month of January, we are going to have a top-notch list of people that are going going to be joining us. So please tune in for that. Make sure you are subscribed across all of our platforms, X, Rumble, YouTube. And I guess since I'm live, may as well go. We were talking a lot about currency debasement. We were talking about how fucked up the money is in this country. Well, we got to give a shout out to our friends at atlasbullion.com/thebacklash. They've got gold and silver. It's not a bad idea to be saving your money in something that is not U.S. dollars, because as we discussed earlier in a segment that I thought that I was going to be like deleting because I totally messed it up and whatever. Anyway, as the money is debased, as the U.S. government continues to print, we may not have a collapse moment. It might be a hyperinflation moment. It might be a melt up moment where the cost of assets go through the roof, housing costs go up, the price of gold and silver, Bitcoin, it'll all go up. So keeping your money in the bank in dollars is a terrifically bad idea. In my opinion, not financial advice. Do your own research. But visit our friends at Atlas Bullion. They can get you hooked up with gold and silver, the traditional hard money that's been around for centuries. Also got to shout out IdahoTallow.com, North Idaho Tallow Company. They've got soap and skincare products that won't turn you gay. It's made without endocrine disruptors. It's made without unnatural fragrances or colors. It's just beef tallow, grass-fed beef tallow, and essential oils. It'll make you clean. It'll make you feel good. Big shout out to Antelope Hill. I've been doing my reading. I got a bunch of books for Christmas, so please patronize them. Above Time Coffee at abovetimecoffee.com. The blonde roast, the espresso roast, it's all tasty, amazing goodness, hand roasted, small batch coffee, and ODGG Supply. They are the best outfitters of military surplus equipment. Visit odggsupply.com. Use promo code BACKLASH25 for free shipping with them. And so with that, my unexpectedly live Dave After Dark is up. You can all see the raw, unfiltered goofiness. Man, that segment in there was a part where my heater turned on and I was quiet and I thought I'd edit it out. Maybe I'll edit it out for the Apple podcast version. But thank you so much for joining me tonight. God bless and have a good night.